Oh, hello! My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. Okay guys, so I thought to myself, oh, you know what, this month isn't so bad, like, I don't have that many, and then I started looking at what these are, and there was an incident with essentially the equivalent of drunk book buying, so yeah, volume-wise, this is not the worst I've done. Money-wise and like being extra-wise, this is yeah, not an improvement over last month, so what are you gonna do? I also should say that I bought a number of books as gifts, like in anticipation for Christmas this month, and I'm not gonna show those on the off chance that somebody is watching this, but like, just FYI, there were also book purchases relating to other people, so at least I was not wholly selfish in my book buying. Let's go with that. Let's start with my book outlet order, because most of the things I got in that were gifts or something that I'm putting in my whenever I get to 2000K giveaway. Most of that was that, but I did have two things that I added for my own collection, one of which was Eloquent Rage by Brittney Cooper. This is one of the 5 books out of the roughly 250 books I've read so far this year that I gave 5 stars to. I absolutely love this, so I really wanted to have this on my shelves. Yeah, I think that this is great. I listened to this as audio initially, so this is an audio book that I think works pretty well. She narrates it. This is just really, it's like black womanist pop culture memoir essays, and it was great. So there's that. And then the other thing I got from Book Outlet that I kept was AKATA Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. It's been called the Nigerian Harry Potter. I've seen the author herself say that she really does not like that because she is an author unto herself. She doesn't need a comparison, but it does apparently have a magical school, and it is in kind of like a Nigerian magical setting, and it's middle grade, I believe. It's either middle grade or YA, so it's for a younger audience, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this because I've literally not heard anything bad about it. And one programming note that I just wanted to bring up, and I debated about whether to do this because I don't want to seem catty or anything. I'm doing this just, I feel like I am incumbent to do this to you because you guys watch me and maybe sometimes you take some of my suggestions. I had another Book Outlet order that was supposed to arrive this month, and it was either lost, stolen, or wasn't actually delivered. I've still not totally resolved that yet, but I do feel like I need to tell you that Book Outlet is not good on customer service when it comes to this situation. Like, I've been really pretty unhappy with how they've responded to it, and I have decided that after my next order arrives, it should be here, I think actually today, I'm probably not going to order from them for a while, and I'm not trying to be catty of like, you did this one thing, so I'm never ordering again. It's more that I buy so many books, and it already was like a temptation in terms of like making me want to buy books that maybe sometimes I don't totally need or don't totally want. You know, it's eliminating a temptation, and also I'm just at a point in my online ordering life cycle where I don't want to order online from places that don't have good customer service. That's just what it boils down to, and I totally get that this is like a discount thing, so maybe that's to be expected. Like, I'm not mad about this. It's more just like, that's just sort of where I'm personally at in terms of as a consumer. I want to work with online businesses that have good customer service, and especially if I'm recommending things to you, I only want to recommend things that I'm pretty happy with how they handle things. So again, I'm not trying to be catty. I'm not saying like, you should never order from them again. That's just a personal thing for me. Customer service is really important, and I just wasn't satisfied. So I wanted to put that out there. I was a little on the fence, but again, if you take suggestions from me and that's something that's also important to you, I want to make sure you know that. So you will see another order from them, I think, for next month's haul, because I'm filming this in November, so it will be in November's haul, but then after that, probably not so much. Moving on to a couple of things from Book Depository. I have some other things from Book Depository, but I can't quite remember which. We'll get there. But these two things I know I got from Book Depository. So one is I somehow missed in my gobbling up of all the Verrego modern classics that I was buying. I did miss one, which is Faces in the Water by Janet Frame. And can you guys see the face? Like, this is one of my favorite covers. This is so cool. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna probably do kind of a classics project next year, and I definitely want to incorporate a couple of these in there. But yeah, I'm definitely happy to have this. And then I got another installment in my Facsimiles from Agatha Christie and this is The Secret of the Chimneys. Now, I know this is one that a lot of people really really hate, but it's one that I have a lot of campy, fun affection for, so I'm definitely happy to have it. I actually realized I didn't have this book in really any form, so it's nice that I can reread at my whim now. I love these facsimile editions because I just love these old like 20s and 30s covers. They're just so cool. And then a kind of random one-off from Amazon. So I had had this on my wish list for a while, and I saw that it went on sale to I think like $18, and it's normally closer to $30, so I went ahead and grabbed it. This is the second edition, or the second volume rather, of essays from Hannah Arendt in the 2-volume set that I've been reading. So the first volume I've been working on for a long time. I just sort of read an essay at night before I go to bed whenever I'm in the mood, and eventually once I get through that one, I will move on to this. Hannah Arendt, I think, is someone who's a really fascinating philosopher, especially as a woman in the 20th century. I think as a woman, as a Jewish woman from Germany who essentially escaped being sent to concentration camps at least twice that I know of, she just has a really interesting perspective, and a lot of her work is thinking about the origins of totalitarianism, which is the name of, I think, her probably most important novel-length work. Well, that or Eichmann in Jerusalem, which I really enjoyed. I read that last year, and it's one of my favorite, like, books of that type that I've read in a long time. So I just really like her as a thinker and as a writer. I think she has a really interesting perspective. So anyway, yeah, eventually I will definitely get to this. It is the, like I said, the second volume in the 2-volume set of her Essays in Understanding is what the duology is called. And then I had an impulse buy at Target because I just got tired of waiting for this online at the library, and that is An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena, and I really enjoyed this. I bought this. I was like, if I'm gonna impulse buy this, I have to read it on the same day, and I did, and I really enjoyed it. It's not a perfect mystery, but it is an isolated, snowed-in bed and breakfast mystery, and people start dying, and you know, they're trying to figure out who done it and who's picking them all off. It's really well done. There's some problems with it. It's not perfect. You can see my wrap-up video that I did on Monday, and it will have more details about that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this and definitely would recommend. It's one of my favorite sort of like popular fiction things that I've read this year. Okay. We've come to the moment that I feel some level of shame about. There was an incident, and here's what the incident was. I got a flu shot, which I would ask, I would humbly submit, everybody, if you are able to get a flu shot, I really encourage you to think about doing it, not just for yourself, but for herd immunity. My father passed away in August of this year, essentially because he had very low immune system, and he picked up a flu just when he was out and about, and he died from it. So anyway, flu shot is a very important thing to me now, and I definitely will remind you of it every year. But anyway, when I got my flu shot, last year was my first one I got because of him. I got a flu shot that year, and I had a really bad reaction to it, which, you know, it means I was having an immune response, so I just I choose to look at it that way. This year was not as extreme of a reaction. I just got a little kind of like fevery the next day, and I was a little bit sore, like kind of achy, but I hope that means that I'm just getting better at taking flu shots. Anyway, in my kind of feverish haze, I ended up buying more Penguin Clothbound classics than I had planned to buy. So some of this, like, you're about to see, I think, about 10 of these. That's a lot, especially if you know how much these cost. Keep in mind a couple of things. One is that there was a little bit of a delay between when I ordered and paid for some of these and when I received them. So there's that I didn't actually buy all these at the same time. They just all arrived this month. So there's that. A few of these I got with points, so they were not actually money out of my pocket. So there's that. And then a few of these I had pre-ordered, so they just arrived this month because I had ordered them a while ago. So that's all of my justification to myself about how obscene this little stack of Penguin Clothbounds are going to be, but let's just roll. You probably don't care. This is probably more just in my head because I'm such a frugal bitch that I'm like, I cannot believe you're spending this kind of money on books. It was in my budget. I'm gonna get over this. Anyway, okay, let's just dive in. First up is a poetry Clothbound classic. And this is the Songs of Innocence and Experience from William Blake. And I didn't necessarily love him when I first encountered him in some of my college classes, but I reread him during grad school and really appreciated him a lot more. I love the illustrations that he has in this particular collection. And I've heard from a lot of people that in this particular administration here in the US that there's some real resonance to his poetry. So I would like to kind of dip in and out of this. But yeah, I really love William Blake, so I'm glad to have this. Then I had a book depository order come in, which, you know, it's always a little bit of a mystery when that's going to happen. I think I said that last month, that it's like the mystery of the olden times, like when you had the Pony Express and whatnot. You never totally knew when things were going to arrive. I didn't know when this was going to arrive, and it showed up. This is the 3-volume work of Remembrance of Things Past by Marcel Proust. Now, I read Proust for some of my French literature classes in college and quite enjoyed him. Mostly, I think, from the first, the first volume, which I think is Swan's Way. But anyway, I've read some of him and enjoyed him, and yeah, this is something that I could see myself slowly reading over, like, my lifetime. I don't see this as something I would sit down and, like, blast through, but yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful writing. It's really, like, poetic, so yeah, I'm glad to have this, and at this point, I'm just, like, whole hog on this collection bit with Penguin Classics, so, like, that's just where we're at. Speaking of, let's just get to the next one, because it's very much in that same vein. So the ones that I bought in my fever-induced state were these 3. So first of all, speaking of ones that I am mostly getting because I'm trying to complete my collection, that is Robinson Crusoe. I did read this as a kid. Like, I think I read this when I was maybe in middle school. I didn't particularly like it, but it is a classic, and in theory would be interested to see how I like it now. I'm not sure if I would like it more or less, but it didn't particularly connect for me then, but I'm down this path and I have to travel it till it takes me where it will. And then 2 ancient classics that I'm actually, you know, much more excited to have. One is the Iliad, so I already had the Odyssey. I've definitely read most of that collected work from Homer. I absolutely love the pattern on this. I think it's really beautiful. And then I also have Metamorphoses by Ovid, and this is a Roman classic that I've actually never read and would be at some point interested in reading just because it's referenced so heavily kind of throughout the literary canon. But yeah. These weren't planned, but I'm not mad to have them, if that makes sense. And then one that I think I had gotten a couple months ago, and I think I just never showed you, maybe I did, but I don't think so, was the Sonnets and a Lover's Complaint by William Shakespeare. Have you guys seen this yet? I think I left it out accidentally of the haul. This I've had for a few months. But anyway, this is absolutely beautiful, and I really, really wish they would come out with more Shakespeare in the Clothbound classics. Like, give me some Macbeth, give me some Merchant of Venice, give me some Romeo and Juliet. Like, I would love it in this edition. So Penguin, get your shit together. I want more. Okay, and the ones that I'd planned for this month, one is Dracula by Bram Stoker, and I plan to get this in October because, you know, it's the right time of year. I've actually never, I think I may have read like an abridged version of this as a kid, but I don't think I've read the full version of this book ever. So eventually I would definitely like to do that, maybe next October. But look at how beautiful. I really love this like kind of Victorian flower print. It feels very kind of ooky spooky, and I think it's very appropriate for the text. I do wish that this was, I don't know, I think that the black blends into the gray a little too much, so I don't know. In terms of that piece, it's not my favorite, but I like the pattern a lot on this one. And then one of my all-time favorite covers from them actually is this Don Quixote one by Miguel de Cervantes. This is gorgeous. Like, again, one of my very favorites in the whole collection. I think this is beautiful. This was just released, so this was a pre-order, and it arrived on the day of its release. I have read Don Quixote, like, way back in the day, and again, it may have been an abridged version, but I would, broken record, be interested in rereading this as an adult, just because I think I might pick up on some of the subtleties of the humor in it a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that is my somewhat shameful book haul. And I know you guys probably don't care. It's more just my internal, I grew up such a used bookstore bitch that anytime I get things new, I feel some level of guilt because I just own so many books that it's like, girl, do you really need this? But you know what? I want it. I always justify it because since I went keto, I don't eat out pretty much ever anymore. So I save so much money every month. So like I've been putting that money into my book budget account. So that is a further incentive for me to continue to be good about making all my food at home and not going out. So anyway. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really happy with this month in terms of things I just really enjoy seeing on my shelves and having, and some books that I've already read and enjoyed. A lot of these are books that I've already read, and it was just me getting them in physical copies. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below. And I think that will do it. I hope you guys are having a really great day, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!